What's the story, Terry? Do you think it's worth the look? It kinda seems familiar, like a story from a book. Press record now, Terry. There's no way you can fail. No matter the weather, even rain, snow, or hail. Come on, Terry. What's the story, Terry? What's the story, Terry? What's the story, Terry? What's the story, Terry?
Cut right there.
In '89, I called the executive producer of Adventures of Baron Munchausen. I just finished. And I said, Jake, I need $20 billion. I've got two names for you. One is Quixote, and the other is Gilliam. And he says, you got the money, that's it. Wow, 30 years ago.
Today we are telling a story about Terry Gilliam. Gilliam has been writing, producing, and directing heralded pieces of entertainment since the 60s. He got started in Monty Python, but has since gone on to direct cinematic masterpieces like Brazil and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. All his movies were around themes of sanity, the line between imagination and reality. They all involve some interpretation of a magic portal, drug hallucinations, dreams, nightmares, and any other narrative method of exploring the human mind's perceived reality. This is what drew Terry so close to adapting the novel Don Quixote. Terry started conceptualizing the project in 1989 after reading the novel. In its most fetal stages, the project was exchanged between many hands. Actors including Sean Connery, Nigel Hawthorne, Danny DeVito, John Cleese, Robin Williams, and Stephen Haft were all at one point considered for the role of Don Quixote. Everyone from Quincy Jones, David Salzman, Fred Shepisi, and Phoenix Pictures all had their hands in the project at one point in one form or another. In 1998, Gilliam cast aside his attempts at getting American funding and instead turned to European funding, where he acquired a $32.1 million budget. A cast was formed with Johnny Depp and perfect choice Jean Rochefort for the leading roles. This would be Gilliam's first attempt at Quixote. It didn't take long for scheduled conflicts, rainstorms, and a double herniated disc to thwart Gilliam's Quixote movie.
What were you thinking?
The depressing details of this first attempt are documented in detail in the film Lost in La Mancha. Everything is thoroughly covered in this documentary by Keith Fulton and Luis Pepe, and I would recommend checking it out to see everything that foiled Gilliam during his first attempt. The first attempt at Quixote could only be described as the perfect storm of bad luck. Gilliam continued to march forward to make his dream movie. After the release of the aforementioned Lost in La Mancha documentary, an almost urban legend started through Hollywood that the film was cursed, to bring financial misfortune and worse to anyone who hoped to have it completed. Between the years 2002 to 2015, Terry Gilliam's The Man Who Killed Don Quixote was brought to the attention and unsuccessfully followed through with Jeremy Thomas, Adrian Guerrera, The Recorded Picture Company, Hanway Films. Casting roles were offered to several actors including Gerard Depardieu, Ewan McGregor, Robert Duvall, John Hurt, Jack O'Connell. These 14 years truly demonstrated what development hell was like. Everything from repurchasing Terry's original script, to rewriting the script, to further financial setbacks, and even the death of selected actors held back production on Terry's vision. Between 2002 and 2015, Gilliam managed to direct the movies The Brothers Grimm, Thailand, The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus, and The Zero Theorem. For every film that Gilliam brought to cinemas, there seemed to be another project that would slip through his fingers just as quickly, but not quite as passionately as Quixote.
It was God trying to prove to me he exists.
Other canceled Gilliam projects included an adaptation of Good Omens, The Defective Detective, a Doctor Strangelove sequel, an animated Gorillaz movie, and being selected to direct some Harry Potter films. Gilliam would state, "Every film I've done since then has been because I couldn't get Quixote made." The journey was far from over, but things finally started to come together in 2016 when Paul Branco was brought on as producer. Adam Driver and Jonathan Pryce were cast for the main characters, along with Jonah Ribeiro, Oscar Giannaddara, Jason Watkins, Rossi De Palma, and Jordi Mola. Branco brought a very my way or the highway attitude to producing the film. This caused more unnecessary setbacks, payment disputes, and other inconveniences, leading to Branco leaving the project on October 6, 2016. In 2017, Gilliam announced that filming of the project had begun with the necessary producers finally acquired, and Amazon Studios distributing. Filming would later complete on June 2017, making an estimated 4-month shoot. After final shooting, Paul Branco tried to sue Gilliam over the rights to the film. Post-production lasted till the very end of 2017, and then in 2018, Gilliam suffered a stroke. Bit of a hiccup, but luckily he survived. On May 8, 2018, despite contributing significant funding to the production, Amazon Studios confirmed that they would no longer distribute the film in the United States, and with lots of legal details from the Paul Branco suit, the film was only able to get limited releases. On May 1st, the film was first screened at Cannes and then released entirely to France. At the Cannes screening, it received a standing ovation. It was released in Spain on June 1st. The film premiered in Belgium at the Brussels International Film Festival on June 20th, before being released nationwide on June 25th. It would be released in China via the Turbo Film Production Company on September 17th. The film was released in US and Canada on April 10th, 2019, as a one-night only showing in select theaters through Fathom Events. Despite the standing ovation at Cannes, many critics did not take to the film. Many found that the legacy and the behind the scenes of the film were far more engaging than the film itself, and in a way, all the drama behind the scenes brought a greater expectation to the film than what was delivered. Only a few crew members remained constant through the workload between 2000 and the final product, including Gilliam, his daughter Amy, co-writer Tony Grisoni, and cinematographer Nicola Pecorini, and the production designer Benjamin Fernandez. The same crew responsible for Lost in La Mancha are currently putting together a documentary about the entire film production. In retrospective, the full story almost feels like looking at a mirror inside a mirror. The plot of the movie itself is about a filmmaker who made a Don Quixote film. Years later, he finds the original actor for Quixote has gone insane and believes he is Quixote. He goes on a hijink-filled adventure and ends up believing himself to be Don Quixote. All directed by a man whose obsession with making a Don Quixote movie rivals the obsession in fairy tales like Moby Dick. The movie took 30 years to make, and while not considered the visionary masterpiece expected from Gilliam, it still satisfied fans who patiently waited for its completion. The movie is currently available for streaming, and for no other reason but to respect 30 years of impassioned persistence, it is worth your time. But with 30 years spent, we can all rest easy knowing Gilliam would never spend so much time on one movie ever again. Ah, nuts.